Getting out into natural sunlight is something that I talk a lot about in my content, and I want to share my safe sun tanning tips with you so that you have good guidance as to how you can get that natural sunlight exposure. You can really enjoy that sun and do it in a safe way. Okay, tip number one is to see that morning light. So as the sun is rising, this is really important to get outside for as long as you possibly can. I know, yeah, you may have to get up a little bit earlier than what you're used to, but I want you to go outside without sunglasses and without sunscreen. Even without makeup on your skin, get outside, because what happens is that when your brain and your eyes now are reading, and your skin as well, is reading that signal that it's going to be a nice sunny day, now your skin is actually going to make something called urocanic acid from histidine, which is an amino acid, and this is your natural inborn sunscreen that your skin is going to be making. So that's for later in the day. Of course, when the UV comes out, there isn't any UV first thing in the morning. So this is my best tip, and that's why it's number one, to make your own internal sunscreen by seeing that early morning light first thing in the morning. Okay, tip number two, seeing that sun midday. So that UV exposure, this is when we get all of those benefits for, of course, for our vitamin D production, but also balancing our hormones. Our skin needs to see that UV, and again, without that sunscreen. Okay, tip number three, you also want to see that sun at sunset. And this has really healing rays from the sun. Of course, those deep oranges and red rays. You may have heard of red light therapy. This all happens at sunset. Now, it does happen throughout the day, but especially at sunset, and feeling that warmth on your skin has really healing and anti-inflammatory properties as well. Okay, tip number four for safe sun tanning tips is to go in the shade when you've had enough. So we all have that internal sense. Okay, I think I've had enough sun for today. Go in the shade, and that is tip number four. You got to be safe about this and your UV exposure. Go in the shade when you know that you've had enough. Tip number five, along those same lines, cover up your skin with clothing. So this is when you start to cover up, put on a hat when you've had enough of that UV exposure. Tip number six, go inside. So even another step towards being healthy, go inside, no more UV for the day when you've had enough. And tip number seven, this one is also super important, is to gradually increase your UV exposure over time. That means as much as your skin can take, you're going to increase your dosage of that sun exposure every day so that you can get all of those wonderful healing benefits of the sun that I've talked about, of course, in my other videos. Now, for more information about the sun and your skin, please check out my video, Shocking Facts You Haven't Heard About Your Skin and the Sun. I'll see you there.